Welcome to Law Tube. To begin with the top 10 law news in 10 minutes on 28 May 2020. Supreme Court on Thursday passed a slew of significant directions to the government taking note of the miseries of stranded migrants across the country. The bench, comprising Justice Ashok Bhushan, S.K. Kaul and M.R. Shah, also directed the centre to place on record information regarding number of migrants awaiting transportation to native place, plan for transportation and mechanism of registration and other requisite details. And as and when the state government put in a request for trains, railway has to provide them, the bench ordered. The Supreme Court directions are: first, no fare either by train or bus shall be charged for migrant worker, fares to be shared by states. Second, migrants workers shall be provided food by the concerned state and union territory at places to be publicized and notified for the period they are waiting for their turn to board a train or a bus. Third, at the commencement of the train journey, originating state should provide meal and water. Fourth, during the journey, the railway should provide meal and water to migrant workers. Food and water to also be provided in buses. Fifth, state shall oversee the registration of migrants and the state to ensure that after registration they are made to board transport as early as possible. And sixth, those migrant workers found walking on the roads immediately to be taken to shelter and provided food and all facilities. It was on May 26, 2020, the Supreme Court took suo motu cognizance of the migrant crisis which had been ongoing since the announcement of the countrywide lockdown on March 24. Several former judges and senior advocates, including Senior Advocate Dushyant Dave, President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, have been vocal in criticizing the top court for inaction on the migrant issue. Coming to next law news, the Madras High Court on Wednesday declared former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister late J. Jayalalitha's J. Deepak and J. Deepa nephew and niece respectively as her legal heirs to inherit her estate are hence entitled to administrate the estate left behind by her, and asked Tamil Nadu government to reconsider decision to convert her residence as memorial. The bench of Justice N. Kirubakaran and Justice Abdul Quddus was held that admittedly late Chief Jayalalitha was unmarried. In view of the above, petitioner and respondent being the children of late Chief Ministers Dr. Jayalalitha's brother Mr. J. Jayakumar have become legal heirs of late Chief Minister Dr. J. Jayalalitha under entry 4 of the Class 2 of Hindu Succession Act. The petitioner and the respondent gets the status of Class 2 heirs of the late Chief Minister Dr. J. Jayalalitha in the absence of Class 1 heirs. Coming to next law news, the Supreme Court has reiterated that the delay in sending the FIR to the magistrate in compliance of Section 157 of the Code of Criminal Procedure cannot itself be a good to acquit the accused. The bench comprising Justice N. V. Ramana, Mohan M. Shantangaud and Sanjeev Khanna said that the delay in compliance of Section 157 of the Code cannot itself be a good ground to acquit the appellant. Taking note of the evidence on record and fact of the case, the bench proceeded to dismiss the criminal appeal. The accused, Ombir Singh, has challenged the conviction under Section 302 read with Section 34 of the Indian Penal Code and Section 27 of the Arms Act for the murder of one Abhivir Singh Bardoia alias Mun. Coming to next law news, the Supreme Court Justice D.Y. Chandrachud inaugurates virtual court for traffic cases related to road traffic violations online at Madras High Court on Tuesday. The inauguration ceremony of the V Court was live streamed by the High Court, whereby the chief guest Justice D.Y. Chandrachud advised that for now the primary focus should be on imparting training to lawyer in imparting e-court so that virtual court can be used optimally. He underlined that a balance needs to be maintained between technology and court while also ensuring that everybody has the opportunity to use this cohesion. The Chief Justice of the Madras High Court, Justice A.P. Sahib, began his address by stating that the formal launch of the virtual court is a eureka moment in the history of Indian legal system. E-courts will also enable handicapped lawyers to participate in the court proceeding. will limit the footfall in court and reduce the burden of movement of files, etc., and poor litigants will not have to rush to court every time, Justice Sahi said. The event was also attended by Justice T.S. Shivagnanam, Chairman of the Computer Committee of the High Court, and Justice Pushpa Satyanarayana, M. Sundar, A.D. Jagdish, Chandriya, and C. Sharavanam, all members of the Computer Committee. Coming to next law news, the Supreme Court on Tuesday dismissed a petition filed by BJP leader Ashwin Kumar Upadhyay seeking the linkage of Aadhaar with social media accounts as an attempt to eliminate fake accounts. A three-judge bench comprising Justice L. Nageshwar Rao, Krishna Murari, and S. Ravindra Bhatt refused to interfere with the Delhi High Court December 2019 judgment, whereby a division bench has also refused to entertain the plea. The Delhi High Court had earlier refused to entertain the plea by holding that linkage of social media account with Aadhaar or any other identification proof was a matter of government policy. Coming to next law news, the Supreme Court issued notice to Centre and Reserve Bank of India in a plea regarding the levy of interest on loan amount during the stipulated moratorium period, which has now been extended up to August 31st, 2020. A bench comprising of Justice Ashok Bhushan, S.K. Kaul, and M.R. Shah granted 1 week time to the Centre and RBI to respond to the plea of a borrower who is aggrieved by RBI's March 27 notification, in as much as it allows interest on loan to be charged during the moratorium period. On March 27, the RBI has ordered a 3-month moratorium on the payment of all kinds of installment, be it EMI or credit cards or outstanding term loan, for a period between March 1, 2020 and May 31st, 2020. This moratorium was recently extended to August 31, 2020. Coming to next law news, the Supreme Court on Wednesday sought the response of the Centre in a plea seeking strict action against the media for communalizing of the Tablighi Jamaat meeting in Delhi Nizamuddin. A bench of Chief Justice S.A. Bobde, Justice A.S. Bopuna, and Harishi Kesh Roy directed the petitioner to implead the News Broadcasters Association as well as the Additional Solicitor General K.M. Natras to file a reply explaining as to why no action was taken by the government under Section 19 and 20 of the Cable Television Network Regulation Act 1995. The petition filed through Advocate Ejaz Mahbul stressed the government, particularly the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, failed in its duty to give equal protection to the law to all persons in India under Article 14 of the Constitution by allowing the media to present fact in a twisted manner using phrases that are prejudicial to the Muslim community. Coming to next law news, the Supreme Court on Wednesday issued notice in a plea seeking direction to the government for framing guidelines on timely disposal of mercy petition. A bench of Justice S.A. Bobde, A.S. Bopanna, and Rishikesh Roy sought response from the Ministry of Home Affairs and granted 4 weeks time to file reply. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta appeared for the respondents and sought time to file reply, which was granted by the bench. The bench was hearing a plea filed by Advocate Kamal Gupta on behalf of Shiv Kumar Tripathi seeking issuance of appropriate direction for framing specific procedure, rules and guidelines for disposal of mercy petition within a time-bound period. Coming to next law news, Bar Council of India Chairman Manan Kumar Mishra has urged Chief Justice of India S.A. Bobde to issue appropriate direction to all courts to resume physically open court hearing from June 1, 2020. Claiming to have consulted with State Bar Council and a majority of bar associations across the country, Mishra conveyed the reservation and grievances of the advocates regarding the prevalent practice of virtual hearing through a letter dated May 26, 2020. Coming to next law news, the central government has notified the establishment of a Central Administrative Tribunal (CAT) bench in Jammu. The newly established bench will exercise jurisdiction over Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and Union Territory of Ladakh. So that's all in today's law news at LawTube. If you have enjoyed LawTube video, please don't forget to like and share them. For more similar law news videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel LawTube. See you again on next video.